welcome to Spotlight on Six Star Cruises. I'm Karen Worrall, your host, destination and cruise expert for Six Star Cruises. And welcome to the next episode of Cruising to Alaska with Regent Seven Seas Cruises. And I have the fantastic Ed Lang, Senior Business Development Manager for Regent Seven Seas Cruises with me again. Hello Ed and welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Thank you for coming back, and we're going to have more of your tips today.
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to continue our virtual tour of Alaska with Regent, going to a real-life cowboy town, which made it big during the gold rush, and it's Skagway. Skagway is a small town in southeast Alaska, which prospered during the boom of the gold rush in the 1890s. It's like a real-life cowboy and western town with a few jewelry shops thrown in, and has a lot of history and character. The town grew when prospectors came hoping to strike it rich, and many did. Now Skagway town is lovely to stroll around and see the old gold rush cowboy vibe. And what do you think about Skagway, Ed?
I love it. It's got a lot of character, let's put it that way. And yeah, it does definitely, like you say, feel like stepping into a western. So,
it does.
Yeah.
It's like you're in a time machine going back
exactly,
there.
Exactly, yeah. So, you know, again, lots of characters there and lots and lots of history. So yeah, it's a very, very nice place, yeah.
Definitely, totally agree. The town is fun, and it's only about a 15-minute walk from the cruise dock into town to the main drag called Broadway, which has a 9-block strip of souvenir shops, old-timey saloons with local businesses and crafts, plus cute bakeries and a few jewelry shops. And there are lots of great trails around the area too. Now, if you want to head out on the trails, you can head out to Upper Dewey Lake, and this is it here. You get great views of the ships, and you can walk out to the old prospectors graveyard about 3 miles out of town, following where the railway tracks lead out of town, safely distanced from the tracks, of course. And there's a beautiful waterfall that you can see too. Now, Skagway also has some fantastic shore excursions, and when you cruise there with Regent, you have unlimited complimentary shore excursions to choose from. Now, I've been on most shore excursions in Alaska, and so I'm going to give you my top tips of my personal favorites that I've been on there. Now, Ed, do you have a favorite shore excursion in Skagway?
Absolutely, yes, I do, and it forms part of our included shore excursion program, and it's the White Pass Scenic Railroad.
Oh, nice!
Yeah, an amazing trip up through the Klondike. And a really great benefit is the cruise ships dock right next to the train station. So you're straight off the ship, straight onto the train, and it's about an hour journey back and forth, so about 2.5 hours in total. And it's this little narrow gauge vintage railway that was built in 1898 by a few very brave prospectors, and you take the journey up through these stunning mountain scenery, rivers, forests, and it's just an amazing day to see the nature and wildlife and the scenery. But you also get, you know, a narrated tour, so there's an expert naturalist on the train for you as well, complimentary refreshments and snacks as you go along. But yeah, you see so many things, sights and sounds on that journey, and actually, again, a really nice outdoor viewing platform, again, for very, very good photo opportunities and things like that. So that would certainly be my kind of highlight trip, because the scenery that you would see on that would just be incredible.
Absolutely, yeah, I have to agree with you on that. The White Pass Scenic Railroad is absolutely stunning. The scenery is incredible, and it is such a wonderful feeling of going on that route. As you said, this is what the miners used to take up into the mountains when they were going prospecting for gold. And it's now one of the most beautiful train rides in the world. It really is a fantastic way to see the tundra and the countryside there. It's one of my top picks too.
It takes you all the way to Canada, right?
Exactly.
The end of it is in Canada itself.
You can go all the way into the Yukon from it, so take your passport from that one.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, two countries.
An amazing tour.
Definitely, definitely. And there's also actually a stationary car from the White Pass Railway train in town. So this is fun to visit, and you can take photos with it whilst you're walking into town. It's located just along from where the White Pass Railway station is as you're walking into town, so it's a great thing to see too. Now, one of my favourite tours in Skagway is the 4-hour Chilkoot hike and float adventure. Now, this tour gets you right into the nature of the area, and it is so much fun too. You begin with a relaxed hike along the historic Chilkoot Trail, taking in the sights and smells of the forest, following in the footsteps of the thousands of prospectors who followed this into the gold fields in the 1890s. You'll see rainforest, wildflowers, birds, and streams with spawning salmon. And your guide tells you about the history and folk tales about the gold rush era and local nature too. Now, once you get to Taya River, you hop into a raft and float downstream. And this is actually my favourite part of the tour, because you're floating on the riverbed and you might spot a bald eagle soaring overhead and other birds, and you can see the forest and feel the wild beauty of Alaska all around you. You're given a hot drink and homemade snacks like cookies or homemade trail mix to fuel up afterwards, and you can chat with your fellow adventurers. So it's a really good fun one.
Yeah, very good.
Nice to get out. Getting out on the water is lots of fun as well, and feeling that, you know, the spray in your face a little bit too. Now, another one of my favorites is the Mushers Camp and Dog Sled experience. It is fantastic. Now, I mentioned dog sled tours in Juneau, and they're wonderful in both Juneau and Skagway. You get to meet lots of huskies here, and you learn about the tough 1,000-mile Iditarod race, and you can go on a sled ride with the dogs. I'd recommend the tours in both ports, either one. I love it if you fancy that, and just see what times fit best with your other tours, and they're both excellent choices. Now, the Gold Panning and Sled Dogs tour is about a 2-hour tour. It's really good as well, because you get to meet some of the sled dogs and the puppies, and then you go panning for gold in the river where the prospectors did, and you can take home any gold that you find. And as I said, I found a little tiny bit, but it's yours, and it's a wonderful thing to take back home too. Now, if you like your adventures adrenaline filled, I would recommend going on the Grizzly Falls zipline experience. Yep, I've done it many times, that's me. And yes, it was scary, but it was awesome. You glide through the trees at up to 45 miles per hour through the Alaskan rainforest. You can go slower if you like, using the brake system. The whole tour lasts about 5 hours, and you're taken to the Grizzly Falls Zipline Camo in an all-terrain Mercedes Unimog for your off-road adventure. Now, you're given a full briefing before you head out. You race through the rainforest over the gorgeous waterfalls on a series of zip lines, and it's so much fun. And that was me looking very happy after completing it. The views were just wonderful. It was so good. I would definitely recommend that. If you like adventure, it's a good fun one. Now, another tour that I like here, which is fun and gives you an insight into Skagway's past, is the Ghosts and Good Time Girls Historic Walking Tour. This one's good if you like something a little more relaxed. Now, this 2-hour tour can fit in nicely with other longer tours as well. And remember, the tours are unlimited with Regent, so you don't have to just do one per port.
That's very true, yeah. It's time permitting, so you can easily take 2 tours in most of the ports in Alaska, actually, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So check the time in, sometimes maybe even 3 on occasion. So check it out, make the most of it, definitely. So on this tour, then you'll be guided around by a costumed actress playing a madame from the Red Onion Saloon, and you have your historical walking tour of Skagway, where you'll hear tales about ghosts, good time girls, and the real-life characters of Skagway, including bordello owner Diamond Lil, conman Soapy Smith, and Shukum Jim. Now, Shukum means strong in Chinook, and he was named this after carrying 156 pounds of gold over the mountain pass. So that's very, very determined.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's a lot of gold.
It's a lot of gold. If you got 156 pounds of gold, you want to take it home.
Yeah.
Definitely. So on this one, you also tour the upstairs area of the vibrant Red Onion Saloon, and you see the old bordello part of it, and you finish it all up with a champagne toast. And you might even see Lydia, the resident ghost. So watch out for her. I did see her, I think, once. I'm not sure, but yeah. So lots of history on that one. Now, the final tour that I would recommend in Skagway is the Glacier Discovery by Helicopter Tour. And this is the only tour that you'd have to pay something towards out of all of these. Everything else is completely included, like the Glacier Helicopter Tour in Juneau, same with this one. But it's really incredible. It's really worth it for a special occasion. You fly above the remote glaciers, mountains and valleys in the area, seeing Chilkat Glacier, Meade Glacier, Verribee Glacier, and at the head of Lynn Canal, the longest and deepest fjord in the USA. Now you'll land on whichever glacier has the best conditions on the day, and your guide will teach you about the formation of glaciers and how they've changed over the centuries. So this is really a very, very special way to see the area. You're above it, you're seeing everything. So if you like the sound of that, I would do it in one of the ports. You don't need to do it in all, but maybe pick one.
People often do, because we've got so many included tours, they do pick ones super special tours like that, or dog sledding, to really kind of take that experience to the next level.
Definitely, something you'll never ever forget.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. Now, Skagway is a charming town to visit, and there are lots of excellent tours to choose from there too. Now, I recommend allowing a little time to explore the town itself too, if you haven't been before. It's really fun. It's only a pleasant 15-minute walk into town from where your ship docks, and you'll pass several little local cafes and restaurants along the way, along with the White Pass railway station and the stationary carriage on the way into town to the main street of Broadway. So, another way to see more of Alaska is to extend your trip before or after your cruise with a land tour to Denali, allowing you to spend more time in the wilderness of America's last frontier by land. You can book this to be something you do either before or after your cruise, in addition to, or instead of going to the Rocky Mountaineer on the train trip that we talked about as well. Now, you'll stay in luxurious lodges with incredible views and go on tours to see the wonders of Denali National Park. Denali is home to the tallest mountain in North America, called Mount Denali, which used to be known as Mount McKinley. Now, Denali is the mountain's original name given by the native Alaskan group, the Koyukon Athabascans, which means the Great One. It is a beautiful area to visit and see mountain peaks, frozen tundra, tall forests and wildlife, including Alaska's Big Five: moose, bears, Dall sheep, caribou and wolves. So there's so much you can choose from to do in the Denali area. An ATV ride is a great way to explore the wild terrain. Talkeetna is a charming town near the national park. Anchorage is home to the Alaska Native Heritage Center and the beautiful Alyeska area. In Fairbanks, you can still mine for gold, and the Wilderness Express train is an adventurer's dream. So there's still so much to do. So check out SixStarCruises.co.uk for more information, and phone us to speak to a specialist concierge to add this on to your cruise. So, Ed, have you enjoyed looking at Skagway and Denali with us today?
Yes, absolutely. Both amazing places, but for different reasons. Yeah, very, very, very great places for people to visit.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for joining us again.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We're always welcome. So that's it from us on Skagway and Denali, but we will be back next time for our final episode on this special mini-series about cruising in Alaska with Regent Seven Seas Cruises. And next time we're looking at the port of Sitka and Icy Strait Point. So we will see you next time. Bon voyage!